I'm begging you, score a point. 14.5. 14.5. Tyler Kolek missed it. Come on, Kolek. Come on. No. We're gonna lose by the hook. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks here on I don't. What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist here at Stochastic, here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with a Wednesday insane 24-game edition after I just got tilting, lost by the hook edition of NBA and MLB Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me, and this video goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Thought I'd give you a little glimpse behind me watching stuff live because I am invested in it the same way you are, and we have been running so hot in the NBA streets, and it was so fun to watch Arizona Suarez hit that bomb in order to cover the over 8.5 there, solidified it, if you will, there in New York for the MLB streets. But the other New York team, the Knicks, they end up resting Cat because they play the Cavs the next day, and that came from nowhere. No idea that was going to happen. They're up 22 with less than 3 minutes left, and Quentin Grimes goes nuts, and then they score a bunch at the end, and nobody on the Knicks can score at all, and we lose by the hook. That was unbelievable. It was awful, but we got a ton to cover here on today's video, so, well, no more tilting for me. We've got MLB. We're going to start with that. We're going to go leans, and then we go into the likes, and there is your first MLB Lindy's lock of the season on this video. Now, we had one in the premium Discord that last Saturday. Well, it's the exact same player running it back here this time around. So, yeah, you might want to tune in here to the very last game of MLB Lindy's. And then, of course, the NBA streets. We got 3 plays for you there. Unbelievable there that we didn't end up getting that cover. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm focused on MLB big time here for you. 6 plays coming to you from there. 3 of them all in the same market. Then, yeah, that lock to finish it out. And in the NBA street, 3 plays. But, of course, going to talk you through the leans. I'll talk you through Bet365. And, of course, Lindy $5. That is your first week. If you want to join the Discord, I would love to see you guys there. $5 for a week. If you haven't tried it out, would love to have you in there for all of the home run madness that I'm sure is going to show up, because it might be afternoon round robin season there with the warmer temperatures going on in the afternoons for ball games on Wednesday. But without further ado, Jacob's like, you better get to it, bro. Sub 25 minutes is what we're aiming for. Let's get to the picks. And we begin our boarding walk. I know this is afternoon, moving on to the evening, but this made it easier for everybody involved because Lindy's Leans, well, these are not your official plays. We're going right to not the morning / afternoon, depending on where you live. We're going to the afternoon / evening to start it off. Mets Marlins, and under 8.5 is going to be a lean for me. Obviously, if you had told me where I leaned yesterday, told you that it was not looking very good there, but it was math that kept us away from it. Sandy Alcantara, Kadai Senga got obliterated. It was very strange in those first couple innings, but Clay Holmes versus Connor Gillespie, I don't expect a ton out of either of them as far as like being elite studs. I know Clay Holmes was your opening day starter for the Mets, which that's neither here nor there, but yeah, you're going to see him improve as the season goes on. He's just not going to have the same stuff he had as a bullpen arm. As for Connor Gillespie, 4-seamer cutter change. I think we're going to see some improvement on each of these pitches. It's a great pitching environment, but I do think the Mets, they do have enough here that it just keeps me away from wanting to do anything on either side. Texas and Cincy, probably the strangest game of the entire MLB season. I tweeted it out. LOL. 1-0. Nathan Eovaldi, 9-inning shutout. Your first complete game from a pitcher of the entire season is an injury-prone Nathan Eovaldi, although he is nails. And plus, 2 years ago, near and dear to my heart with these Texas Rangers, as they made that massive run to the World Series, he made us a ton of money in the over-outs department. Underprojected just about everywhere across the entire industry that time around. But Cincy is where we're looking at on this time through because Hunter Green, my boy, is out there. However, I do not feel all that ideal with him in that early morning window there. 12:40 first pitch, 9:40 a.m. on the West Coast. Yeah. Oh, there's my dog. He wanted to say hi. Kansas City taking on Milwaukee. Cole Reagan's K-ladder. I know it wasn't pretty for his first start. I know he's a lot better than that. We all expect more from Cole Reagan's, but Milwaukee, I'm probably just going to stay away for right now because the prices at open just aren't all that advantageous. So we'll see K-ladder, maybe some alt numbers get a little bit more enticing, or people can bet some unders, push it down, make it a little bit more palatable for that ladder. Byron Buxton. I know it's brutal as well. I keep saying I know because it's like, oh, like the White Sox are going to be terrible. I refuse to believe that my Twins are this bad all the time, but they're up 5-3 here in the top of the 8th. Hopefully they can close it out and give me one bit of happiness as a sports fan of Minnesota. They'll probably choke. Anyway, Buxton home run, that's projecting out nicely, better than plus 340 because this character, Sean Burke, well, 683 expected slugging in 18 batted ball events. And 18 batted ball events for your first start is a lot of batted ball events. You're not getting a lot of swing and miss there. Angels, Cardinals, that's coming up here next, and that is Kikuchi versus Gray. One pitcher I generally bet against a lot, Kikuchi. Well, not last year. We ended up hitting eject on that and actually backed him pretty successfully at the tail end of last year. But against the Cardinals here, over 8, I do think you get Herrera back into that lineup. Pedro Pajes ended up catching here on Tuesday. So pay attention to the lineup card as it gets rolled out, because Wednesdays, you get some weird ones, although some teams kind of had that off day either Sunday, Monday. You had some weird stuff as far as the scheduling goes, but all 15 teams in play on Wednesday, and then Thursday gets trimmed down a tiny bit, some strange scheduling. San Francisco, Houston up next here. We've got 4 more leans. Hit that like button as we're moving. Run line. This is just straightforward. If you were looking for like an extra play out of all of these, this is the one that's coming out the next best for me, because Landon Rope, 4 strands of rope. Anybody see 3 Ninjas? That's good stuff. But 356 expected slugging last season, 12% walk rate. There's some good, there's some bad, but Framber Valdez got back to his old self to some extent. He got the ball in play a lot, 19 batted ball events. 9.3 degree launch angle is a little high, but we're finally starting to see semblance there of that curveball and that sinker potentially sinking, the curveball potentially curving. And why does this matter? Well, I think more swing and miss is in store against a lineup here like the Giants, where you're going to get Patrick Bailey and Heliot Ramos, who has crazy power, but I'm just saying, it's short Crawford boxes out to left, but he's done such a good job at ground balls against righties that I would be looking at backing him here at the plus money on the run line. Moving on to the next slide, ka-ching! We've got ourselves San Diego on the run line. This one's not as advantageous as the Houston side that we just discussed. It's Lively versus Cease, and Dylan Cease, he's obviously the much better pitcher of the two, but Ben Lively does enough with this junk repertoire, 4-seamer, sinker, curve, everything that he's throwing together. It's not good by any means, but he's finding ways of just getting by. He had a 4.02 expected ERA last season, eats up innings, 3.81 actual ERA. And the hard hit, if he's able to limit it a little bit less than 41.5%, we saw 36.2% in 2023. He could be like just an innings eater here for Cleveland. That's not what you really want when you're looking at run lines. And, Dylan Cease gives up a little bit of hard contact from here to there. So going to stay away for the time being. Again, be cautious with your bankroll early in MLB. We have so much time. I guarantee you, I'm going to keep updating the data. We're going to have plenty of profitable opportunities. One of those is Detroit, Seattle. This is probably my second favorite one that I kept off the card just for the time being. It's 2 elite pitchers. Luis Castillo, not always my favorite. Cincinnati, he found ways of being successful there in a hitter-friendly ballpark. Now, you're in the most pitcher-friendly ballpark in baseball there in Seattle. And Tariq Skubal on the other side, that goes without saying. He had to face the Dodgers first time out. I think we can call it an outlier when you have to face the Dodgers right from the get-go. That is not ideal. So under 6.5, it's just too short of a number here. I think I'll just stay away. Tariq Skubal did give up some hard contact in that first outing, but I repeat, it's the Dodgers. Colorado, Philly, your last of the leans before we get into the light department. I just don't love it here. Afternoon game, it's popping for me at the moment with Kyle Freeland and Zach Wheeler. The Wheeler side, you can be pretty confident in, and Freeland, one game. It's a 1-game sample size, but boy, did he look good. 35% K rate, only 13 batted ball events, 145 xWOBA. And again, expected numbers. I always prioritize them because the hard hit gets factored in. If a pitcher has control over where the ball's getting placed when it gets put in play, that'd be one thing. It's harder to gauge. If they're giving up barrels, if they're giving up hard contact, it becomes more predictable to be able to target. And well, when they're not, those expected numbers are crashing down to earth. And I just don't trust him here. I do think the Phillies have enough righty power to just cause him major fits, but no surprise, Colorado pitchers always outperforming expectations when you take them out of Coors Field, the most hitter-friendly ballpark, which we haven't had to deal with yet this season. Cool, great, grand, no yelling on the bus. Let's get to the likes. But first, Portfolio EV 7-day free trial down at the link below. Again, I know we have 14-day free trials that pop up here and there. We had them to start off the season. Hopefully you took advantage, but if you didn't, it's okay. 7-day free trial is available at the link below. You head underneath the Bet365 link, which again is fantastic. You should be checking that out if you're in a state with Bet365, but 7-day free trial going for you down at the link below. And what is Portfolio EV? It is the best market-based tool in the entire betting industry, comparing Sharp Sportsbook up against some of the more public DraftKings, FanDuel Sportsbooks, giving you the best opportunities to make money no matter what. Check it out, my friends, down below. OddsShopper's premium tool. Alrighty, y'all, to the likes we go. We begin the official plays here, and we are going to have 3 consecutive plays that look very, very similar. And I'm actually going to change this a little bit there just because it's lovely and my dog is snoring in my ear. But Pittsburgh taking on the Rays here. He's super cute. I'll bring him up here sometime if you haven't. Have you met Duke? Have you met Duke? You have if you follow me at Eric Lindquist, that's for sure. But have you met Libby Dunn? She's pretty. Oh, yeah, we're not talking about the girlfriend. We're talking about the best pitcher in baseball, Paul Skeens. Actually, I think Jacob deGrom, based on his first start, could be the best pitcher in baseball. And if you're in the Lindy and Friends Discord, well, Greg Ehrenberg dropped some tidbits there about Jacob deGrom and some of the AL Cy Young that could be coming his way. Well, again, I think he's too long of odds as well. So like that shout out, he's the best, futures better, period. End of story. Lindy 5, you can sign up and get all of it. But first outing wasn't all that pretty from Paul Skeens. Subpar, especially considering it was a Miami lineup where you can recognize like 2.5 hitters. Kyle Stowers, I know him. And then there's that Eric W. and Xavier Edwards. There you go. There's my 2.5. But Paul Skeens, friends, 18.2% hard hit, 216 xWOBA, 35% K rate. He got really unlucky to give up anything. And Ryan Pepio on the other side, 31.3% hard hit, 30.8% K rate. Look like nails immediately. And guess what? This Pittsburgh lineup is brutality, but there are not going to be many opportunities to be able to back Paul Skeens in this kind of a game environment. And I get it. It's not ideal to be playing outdoors at Steinbrenner Field as opposed to pitching in Tropicana, where this would have been pre-hurricane, but you're getting minus 140 here or better. Every book, Pittsburgh first 5. I know it's minus 120 and your 20-cent gap here, but Paul Skeens is worth that. If you don't think he's worth the 20% gap, well, I don't know what to tell you. Plus, if it's 0-0, you push, you move on with your day. There are 3 of these incoming. This is the first. Let's get to the second. Mackenzie Gore, probably the darling of all darlings in that opening outing. Absolute evisceration on opening day. He's going to be taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. And on the other side of this one, there were a couple of conflicting reports on who was going to be getting the start. And then it became Easton Lucas. Now, Easton Lucas is a bullpen guy. This could get turned over multiple times, but Easton Lucas, southpaw, going to be taking on some righties. And the construction of this Washington lineup, I do think Nate Lau, considering left on left, James Wood, left on left, they're going to continue to hit and show up in this lineup. And you can move up Dylan Cruz. You can move up Alex Call, Paul DeYoung, Kybert Ruiz, Josh Bell, better from the right side. I'm going to tell you multiple times, even though Luis Garcia is a lefty, he's got pop from both sides. I want to see him in the lineup a little bit more. This Ahmed Rosario stuff just has to go away. But that's a conversation for another day. $50. My mom told me. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to do Washington first 5 money line. Yes, I'm caffeinated today as well. Minus 116 for the entire game. Minus 125 you're looking at here for first 5. That is very advantageous, my friends. Fire it up. And then this one, Chicago taking on the Athletics. Now, why are we going first 5 with these all the time, Eric? And well, because I don't trust some of these bullpens that we're discussing with starters that I absolutely love. And yes, you're paying 5 cents here, 10 cents there, but it makes me feel so much better to be able to back the guy that I want to back rather than dealing with some of the bullpens. Now, Athletics, you get to the 9th inning, feels pretty good to have Mason Miller throwing fire in your corner. That is useful, but you got to get there. You got to get there. We've obviously backed first 5 Athletics multiple times now, Thursday and Friday last week, successfully, may I add. Very nice to get 2 dubs there. And those are plus money, but this one is not. And I don't really care because it's Jeffrey Springs. You could be my Jeffrey Springs. And Jamison Tyon on the other side, just obliterated in that first outing. 685 expected slugging, 445 ex-WOBA, 14.3% barrel percentage. Now that's going to come down, but an 8.63 expected ERA, 12.46 ERA right from the jump, got blasted. I think he gets blasted again here. First 5, get down and get your eagle on, girl. Let's get to some props, shall we? Add more props to it. Boston, -1.5, taking up Baltimore here. Yeah, -112. Well, it's -112 money line. Yeah, obviously the run line giving you a little bit more pretty penny. But this one, friends, is also very straightforward to me. You've got in the red corner, that being the Red Sox, obviously, standing 6'7", getting a brand new contract out of the middle of nowhere, Garrett Crochet. It's a great name. It's a great baseball name. He also just got $170 million after one start for the Red Sox. A little premature, if you ask me, and maybe they should have learned from the whole Chris Sale thing, but maybe they also realized that they have a top 3 pitcher in baseball, probably the best pitcher in baseball last year with the White Sox, but it was the White Sox. They limited his innings in crazy ways because he said, if you trade me at the deadline, I better have a long-term deal lined up. And most teams were saying, no, it's a rental. And he said, no, I'm not pitching for you then. Kind of weird that you can say that and just not do your job. But I don't know. F people get paid. There's a less nice way to say that. But Zach Eflin, what's the nice way to talk about him reverse splits? I don't really know, but there are 2 Zachs that we're going to cover in back-to-back games, which is kind of fun for me because I can keep the Fangraphs things right next to each other. Makes my life super, super easy. But if you're looking at some of the splits for him, 2024, we're starting to see more of a righty prevalence going up against Zach Eflin. He kept lefties to a 225 average. 281 average against righties. Now, sometimes you look at the lineups and you say, oh, well, the lefties are potentially weaker valued players because you're going to keep only your righties in against the righty, like your strong righties. But that isn't really the case because he faced 82 innings, 82 and a third to be exact, against lefties, 83 innings against righties. And we're talking 281 average given up to righties. We're talking a lot more power, a lot more responsibility on that side of it too. Now, identical home run to fly ball rates. Now, I mean, just about 11.8% to righties, 10.9% to lefties, within 1 percentile. That's pretty decent, but not decent if you're going to take on Tyler O'Neill. And if you remember, they brought the fences back in here in Baltimore. The wind should be blowing across. I feel pretty good about this play right from the jump. Plus 475 Tyler O'Neill to hit a home run. And yeah, you best believe Jordan Westberg plus 800 might get tapped as well. But I think as we accumulate sample size on this ballpark, because again, change in dimensions can be a big deal. This used to play the most difficult for right-handed power with that change in the wall after being the easiest to righty power. And it was like for a good little chunk of the 2010s. So Tyler O'Neill, the homer, if it's somewhat back to normal, now it's somewhere in the middle of those two. I think Tyler O'Neill's going to smack in this ballpark. And let's talk protection, shall we? Total of 8. You best believe that might get played as well. I just wanted to be able to rerun some stuff with some of the updated bullpens because it was getting to be a really competitive game here at the end of that Yankees game. Now, Arizona ends up winning at 7-5, and I was able to, while we were in the middle of this, upload for AJ Puck coming in. Now, AJ Puck, if you remember him, was with the Miami Marlins. It did not go well as a starter, but he ends up closing out that game. And him, Martinez, Miller, I kind of like the construction of Arizona's bullpen a little bit more than I was expecting. And the Yankees, they have Ottavino, they have Leiter Jr., they have some definite names and some definite dudes, even though Leiter Jr. was the guy who got lit on fire in that game. But that's also neither here nor there. We're going to start speeding it up. Jazz Chisholm RBI. It was sitting at plus 175. I tapped that. It then moved to plus 195 before first pitch. And I was trying to figure out, what's going on? Aaron Judge is going to get walked a lot. It's just going to be the way that it goes. Now, his walk number was like minus 195 today. Couldn't do the Ohtani double like we did with Teoscar Hernandez. Real ones in the premium Discord know. But Jazz Chisholm, RBI, plus 195 at open on DK, close at DK here. I haven't played this yet, but it goes in that lean like department. I want it on the card for you because I think torpedo bats or not, I don't care about that shit. What I care about is the protection that Aaron Judge gives you and the opportunity you're going to have to knock in a lot of runs at the top of this Yankees lineup against righties. And, shout out a real one, like a real one. Somebody who's made us a lot of money in our lifetime, Zach Allen, but he's going to get lit up by lefties in a Yankees stadium. And our last game of the MLB slate, it is the Braves. It is the Dodgers. It is Blake Snell on the bump against Bryce Elder. And the Elder one, friends, is not very good from last season. 285 expected batting average, 45.3% hard hit, 8.7% barrel percentage. We bet against him a lot. And I went through some of my tracking data, and boy, oh boy, was it successful. 8-2 against Bryce Elder in first 5 departments or full game bets. Now, most of those were full game. We started getting more into the first 5 market as I started figuring some stuff out that I wanted to be able to account for nuance. And we got 3 of them on the card today. We had 2-0 last week on them. Shout out the Athletics for both of those. But I'm looking at the run line period, because the Dodgers, man, when you get the Dodgers bullpen backed up by a Blake Snell, it feels like cheating. And I don't know how the bullpen's going to be constructed, but what I do know is they didn't have to play baseball on Monday coming into this Tuesday night game that is gone to first pitch here already. But I'm in love when you're getting this kind of a number. Minus 105 FanDuel. Anything inside of minus 120 on the run line is a lock for this one. I don't know what to say. It's the best team in baseball. They're somehow undervalued on the run line against a Braves team that doesn't have anything. And it's Snell versus Elder, and I'm basically getting close to even money on the run line. Makes no sense to me. Happy to take it. Let's fire it up. Let's move along to the NBA. But Bet365, damn good find. I'll sock it to you one more time. Get low if you're in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Illinois, Louisiana, North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin it like a helicopter. New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia. All of those, if you're 21 and over, if you deposit $10 at the link below, the very first link that you see at the top of the video description box, you click on that link. You go to the Bet365 thing. It takes you 2 minutes to sign up. You simply deposit $10 or more at Bet365. You bet $5 or more on anything, and if that bet wins or loses, it doesn't matter what your name is. You get $150 in bonus bets. It's only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please text 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. To the NBA, we're going to get cracking on this side. Lean with it, rock with it, lean with it, rock with it. We got the Knicks, we got the Cavs, and Karl Anthony Towns from the absolute clouds. You probably saw me tilt my face off at the beginning of this. I'm not sure how this is going to get edited, but I don't really care. Producer Jacob is the absolute man, and I'm going to miss you. He's going to Europe next week. What am I going to do? I have no idea what I'm going to do. I can't do all of this by myself. I can't do graphic design or any. I also can't bet the Knicks plus 11 here against the Cavs. And it's just really difficult, no matter how I start breaking this game down, for me to find anything even remotely advantageous on either side. Like, I looked at props. I looked at everything. I mean, Cat should be fresh, so that's a plus, right? That's a definite plus for them. But, like, from a betting perspective, I got this at 11, so that's a brutal. It's probably the hardest to bet game I've seen in a very, very long time. In the NBA, we've been particular, but we've been very profitable, obviously, with all the tracking. Charlotte, Indy, 14.5, a little bit too wide for me with an Indy team with Miles Turner and Benedict Mathurin questionable. Sacramento, Washington, you got Chris Middleton out. You got everybody out on the one side. I just don't trust Washington to keep the pace. So about that pace, no treble. Onyeka Okongwu, I'm pretty pissed at him because what did he end up finishing with? Because I know that bet didn't cash. He finished with 12, 6, and 3. Yeah, what an absolute dunce cap performance up against the Portland Trailblazers and Donovan Clingan, who he basically was getting ran off the floor. They ended up going Denny Avdia at the 5 for a long stretch, with Matisse Thybulle coming in playing 29 minutes against Portland there. It's a back-to-back scenario here for Atlanta. I'm just going to stay away with Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, who practiced on Tuesday, expected to play on Wednesday, but I expected him to play on Monday as well. Hey, we cashed the under 9.5 rebounds there for AD. No lines out yet for props there. Very advantageous prop environment. San Antonio going up against Denver. Well, the Denver by a milli is not in the like department this time around because I do kind of want to see a play. San Antonio's on the back-to-back. Denver's on the back-to-back, but Michael Porter Jr. was out with a personal issue out of the middle of nowhere today. Jamal Murray ended up getting ruled out, I'm assuming, I'm assuming they keep him out here against San Antonio as well. You don't need him, and that freaks me out. So Denver by a milli, not the lock that it was the last time, or I guess like technically on how I do things. And lastly, Clippers 17.5. You got no Zion or CJ the rest of the season. You do have the Clippers, who probably not mail it in by any effect, but like that's a big number on the road, probably not going that direction. Let's get to the 3 plays, shall we? Guys, it's the Miami Heat. It's the Boston Celtics. And if you have been tuning into this program, the last 4 times we bet the Boston Celtics, we have cash tickets. Isn't that fun? We should probably keep doing that, shouldn't we? Now, we always run the risk of having somebody getting ruled out from the absolute clouds on the Boston side. We have Drew Holiday questionable, Jaylen Brown questionable, and now Kristaps Porzingis questionable, return from illness, reconditioning, whatever the hell that means. But you got Jason Tatum and Derek White out there. You've got Peyton, Goat, Pritchard. Al Horford, he's doubtful, so he's not going to be playing, but Sam Hauser, Torrey Craig, they have enough pieces here, and it's 3-point shooting. This is a Miami team that can't really up the variance themselves, and Boston surely can. So when they win these games, they win them handily. We also might be seeing a Peyton Pritchard start in the event that you get Drew Holiday out and Jaylen Brown out. Just throwing it out there. They did it last time that both of them sat. Definitely a prop to pay attention to if they actually drop it early. They've been very, very concerned. That is, the books are being very concerned with that, as they should be. So whatever is what it is. I think this number only gets wider as guys get ruled in. It doesn't fall inside a 9.5 under any circumstances. And that has me comfortable with Boston minus 10.5. Click it, ticket. Let's see, seatbelt fasten, trunk rattling, like 2 inches in the back seat rattling, spec pots, vibrate the tap, make it sound like aluminum cans in the bag. But I know y'all wanted that 808. Can you feel that BASS space? Next game, I like the way you move. Can't believe I'm doing this, but Utah plus 17.5 at Houston. Isaiah Collier minutes are just in stone. They're concrete. 30 plus. He's the rookie. He's getting run. We have Colin Sexton questionable. Jordan Clarkson is out for the season. Lauri Markkanen, John Collins already out, as is Cody Williams. What do you do? What do you do? You just play Isaiah Collier props. Now, I don't want to go to the PRA because I think shooting against Houston fools Aaron to some extent, but rebounds plus assists. I'm surprised. I'm very much surprised to get 8.5. We've been seeing a lot of 9.5s on Collier. That's the open at minus 120 at Bet365. Damn good find. I'll sock it to you one more time. Sign up there, play this play. We move on with our day. That rhymed, hey? And the last game of the night, Detroit plus 15 against OKC. These numbers are just hilarious. Now, Dennis Schroeder, does he have revenge in his heart? We shall find out. But how do we land on 231.5? Technically, this should be a lock, but I get it. 224. I'm just so into the MLB streets here as well that I don't want to go crazy, baby. Don't forget that boy told you kick that dirt off your shoulder, and we just simply take the under at 231, say thank you, a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and move along with our day. So under 231.5, let's go 3-0 because apparently that's all I did until, well, I bet a Kongu, and that was stupid, and then lost by the hook in that New York game. So NBA came back for vengeance. They got a little bit of it. Oh, we got a bit of it the last 2 weeks, so it'll be okay. And that does it for another edition of MLB and NBA Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this wild Wednesday, wacky Wednesday we've got before us in the MLB streets. Early morning baseball on the West Coast, afternoon baseball into evening, way late evening baseball there on the East Coast. But go Dodgers, that is for sure. The Braves. Woof, y'all. Woof, y'all. I saw Dustin May just strike out the side to start off the first. Ooh, boy, oh, boy. Gonna go watch that. Go kick it. Go have dinner with my family and my puppy. Duke, you want to say hi? He doesn't want to say hi today. We'll see you another time. Thank you, producer Jacob. Thank you, Bet365. Lindy5, if you guys want to sign up for the Discord, I would love to see you there. Lots of new faces. It's good times. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB and NBA streets on Hump Day.